dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse after dismembering it, not bail eligible, not a serious crime. I'm not even kidding, guys.
Like, you know it's bad when Kasparian has to steal my catch line. Because I've been sitting here at this little table doing this segment for years, and every now and then I read something that's so crazy, so outlandish, that I need to say, I'm not making this up. I'm not even kidding. Usually, the Young Turks do not cover those types of news. So I guess there actually does exist something in this world that the Young Turks will cover because it is genuinely that outlandish. It is genuinely that far out there.
Like when Joy Behar outlined that case, I was like, she's crazy. This isn't a thing. This isn't real. This isn't real. So I looked it up. It's real, guys. It's real. Listen, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that. So let me give you the details of the case.
It doesn't mean that.
Okay.
It literally means that, chick. Like, I'm not sure if you're living in your ivory tower and you do not know how the little people act. But if you're part of a left-leaning online community and you deviate even a little bit, you get ostracized. Sometimes they even come after you to dox and threaten you. Like for instance, if you are a VTuber, an entertainer, and you want to play Hogwarts, a video game, which the left decides that it actually is responsible for a trans genocide because J.K. Rowling doesn't respect the pronouns, and if you play that video game, she gets royalties. Like, you have created some of the most insane ideology that I have ever seen. And the way that this ideology manages to procreate itself is not by using public discourse and debate and convincing other people that your ideas are right. No, it is through strict enforcement. Like, this is what you have to believe, and if you don't believe like us, you get ostracized. You can lose your job, you can lose your friends, you can lose your social media account. So most people just go along with it. And as you keep going along with it, and it keeps getting pushed further and further to the left, you end up with a situation where Kasparian has to go like this because even she doesn't realize, how did we got there? Well, you got here because no one pushed back. No one from your side had the courage to speak out against it. And it's so ridiculous that even now, I'm willing to bet if there are people speaking out against this, they can get into trouble. Now here's the interesting part, right? Why is it that I keep saying their ideology? It's very simple. It's what it's called, Anarcho-tyranny. Like, you can actually Google the concept, but it's probably the only ideology known to man. Like, throughout the entire human history, it's the only ideology which puts the criminal on top of the citizen, right? Like they have rationalized that the criminal is committing crime only because he is a victim of society. It's because he grew up in poverty. It's because daddy didn't love him. It's like constantly making justification and stereotyping the criminal in order to actually look like a victim. And when you make the criminal a victim, society becomes a victim. And by the way, the Young Turks also responsible for this. Like, how many segments didn't they have where they demonize the cop, right? So even when the criminal does something atrocious, even when the criminal does something that behaves in a manner that you wouldn't want him as a neighbor, when a cop tries to stop him and the criminal attacks the cop or anything like that happens, you demand that the cop be in prison, you demand that the cop be fired, you're making all this propaganda and ideology against police officers, and you're normalizing, you're rationalizing the idea that the law is bad, the criminal is always a victim, is always justified in what he does, and then you have your leftists that you indoctrinate voting for these laws, voting for these people, and voting for this situation. Like, this doesn't come from the ether. It wouldn't happen in my country. Like, Jesus Christ, if such a crime happened in Romania, not only would it be national news and everyone would be talking about it and they would be abhorred, but there is no way that person would ever see the daylight again. Like, that person would immediately be locked up and that person would never be allowed to leave. And no one, and by the way, if they tried to somehow evade arrest and let's say a police officer put them down, no one would shed a tear. Everyone would be like, well, why did they try to resist arrest? But you don't have this mentality in America. And if you don't have this mentality, well, you get this. Listen to this. Listen.
I don't know. Let me give you the details.
On the left. We're all on the left. We don't want people dismembering folks getting released. Only a couple.
No, you on the left. You know, every single time someone talks against you, they're racist, they're bigots, they're sexist, they're transphobic. Meanwhile, you have books that are called In Defense of Looting being published on mainstream platforms, and you don't consider those books to be harmful or radical or anything like that. And on the other hand, you have movies like Gone with the Wind getting taken down from streaming services because they're too edgy, they're too problematic. These are your values, right? And then you're shocked when your values produce results. If you think that someone is allowed to loot something, to burn a store, to rob a store, do you think that they're going to also be a decent citizen? You know, like outside of those areas, they're just going to be a nice guy and a very understanding and compassionate individual that just like happens to rob stores and stuff? Of course not. Like the mind of a criminal, like once he starts breaking so many laws, he doesn't care about civilized society. He doesn't care about others. And this is why we have prisons, to lock the people who cannot be law-abiding and separate them from the people that are law-abiding.
Some do.
I know.
I love the fact that she says some do. Yeah, the people that voted for this definitely do.
What I was in the middle of saying is only a couple of lunatic activists are like, yeah, we're pro-dismemberment guys being...
Yeah, you don't have lunatic activists, right? And again, the left is more concerned with policing speech, with policing jokes, with policing ideological crime. But you get to notice that the places that they govern over are having crimes that are so astonishing that even the Young Turks have to report on them.
Let go. Okay, whatever.
These
You
poor
don't represent the left at all.
Dismembered bodies. It's so unfair to put them in prison. Okay, let me give you the details of the actual case, okay? So 4 people were arrested in New York after body parts were found in Long Island. Okay, dismembered body parts. The victims were, 2 people from Yonkers, older individuals. Suffolk County Police say 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexis Nieves were charged with concealment of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. They have not been charged with murder.
Meanwhile, if you have a person trying to stop a crime in a subway, oh, that's a very serious event. The headlines, they're everywhere. How dare he? And when you look at the person that they stopped, it's like he's got a criminal rap sheet. He's got all the things. You have managed to create an ideology where the criminal is the victim, always, in every circumstance. And I guess like the criminals become more and more emboldened to the point where it does shock you. But like you don't get here from 0 to 100. It requires a journey, a destination, which the Young Turks have belovedly took their audience on. I don't know how you can get back from this, but it's interesting. I mean, you look at America from the outside, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. So like, you're telling me that an old lady gets stopped in the metro and she gets frisked, and then you have like the National Guard in the metro, but at the border, there is no such frisking, there is no such procedures, right? And everyone can come in. Interesting. I wonder what type of ideology created this. Must be right-wingers, right? Let me know what you guys think. As usual, I will see you in the comment section. And if you like the channel, there is a link into the pinned comment that will take you to my live stream channel where I live stream every day. And there's another link where you can get the best buyer's remorse on the internet by supporting me. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you do, I would appreciate it. So I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.